The Eton Wall game is a game which bears some resemblance to rugby union that originated at and is still played at Eton College. It is played on a strip of ground 5 meters wide and 110 meters long next to a slightly curved brick wall erected in 1717. The traditional and most important match of the year is played on St Andrew's Day, as the colleges take on the Oppidans. Although college has only 70 boys to pick from, compared to the 1250 or so Oppidans, the colleges have one distinct advantage. Access to the field on which the wall game is played is controlled by a colleger. Despite this, it is usual for them to allow the Oppidans to use it whenever they wish. At the annual St Andrew's Day match, the Oppidans climb over the wall, after throwing the caps over in defiance of the scholars, while the collegers march down from the far end of College Field, arm in arm, towards the near end, where they meet the Oppidans. The wall game is also played on Ascension Day, immediately after the early morning service on the roof of College Chapel. Various scratch matches are also played throughout the Michaelmas and Lent halves, where boys from different year groups, as well as masters, take part. Scoring. The aim of the game is to move the ball towards the opponent's end of the playing area. In those last few yards of the field is an area called the Phalanx. In this area a player can earn a shy by lifting the ball against the wall with his foot. A teammate then touches the ball with his hand and shouts, "Got it!" These two plays must happen within the Phalanx. After this, the scoring team can attempt a goal by throwing the ball at a designated target. A player can also score a kicked goal, worth 5 points, if he kicks the ball out and it hits a goal during the normal course of play. The main game consists of the two sets of players forming a rugby-style scrummage in which neither team may furk the ball, which is to hook it backwards. The bully is formed next to the wall and crabs slowly along the wall until the ball emerges. Many players, particularly those whose position is actually against the wall, lose the skin off their elbows, hips and knees. Because of this, players usually wear long sleeves. Players within the bully shove and push each other, mostly with the bodies but also by placing the fists against the faces of the opposition and attempting to lever them backwards and away from the wall. Actual punching is not permitted, and grabbing an opponent's shirt is also not allowed. When in Phalanx, a different type of bully called a Phalanx bully occurs. The fastest way to make ground is by kicking the ball upfield and out of play whenever it comes sideways out of the bully. Unlike most types of football, play is restarted opposite where the ball stops after it had gone out, or was touched after it had gone out. Consequently, the most common tactic revolves around the formation of a phalanx. This consists of a tunnel of players from one team who are crouching on hands and feet next to each other. Once the team in possession of the ball has formed a successful phalanx, it attempts to pass the ball down the tunnel, using the knees of the players forming it, to a player standing at the end of the phalanx, known as lines, whose job it is to kick the ball upfield. The team not in possession is constantly attempting to disrupt this, and win the ball back. The game lasts up to an hour, with 2 halves of 30 minutes each. Many games end 0-0. Scoring goals is very rare. They occur about once every 10 years, and there have been no goals scored in the St Andrew's Day game since 1909. There was a goal scored in a recent scratch match in October 2009. However, shies are scored more frequently, with the Oppidan side scoring shies in 2002 and 2004. In the 2009 St Andrew's Day match, the outcome was a 0-0 draw, with both sides failing to score. This marked the 100th consecutive St Andrew's Day match in which no goals were scored by either team. There was, however, in-ear controversy in the latter stages stages of the match. With College attacking, a rogue photographer stopped the rolling ball with his foot, preventing it from going into Phalanx, and thus preventing College an opportunity to score a shy. It was the Oppidans side, however, who finished the match on the upper hand, themselves moving into Phalanx in the final stages, only for College to deny them from scoring. Organization. The wall game is organized entirely by boys, particularly by the keepers of College wall, Oppidan wall and mixed wall. Famous past players of the wall game include Boris Johnson, who was keeper of the College wall, George Orwell and Harold Macmillan. The First World War flying ace Arthur Rhys-Davids also played, representing College with Ralph Dominic Gamble in 1915. Members of the College wall also annually commemorate the great wall game player James Kenneth Stephen, making a toast at each year's Christmas sock supper with the words "In Pieram Memoriam JKS." Despite its renown outside the school, only a very small number of the 250 boys in each year group ever take part in the sport, unlike the lesser-known but much more widely played Eton field game. The Eton wall game has been played twice by all-female teams. Popular culture. The British sitcom Green Wing features a fictional game, Guy Ball, which parodies the obscurity of public school pastimes such as the Eton wall game. It is introduced by Guy Secretan, who learned the sport at the fictional school Whitecliff. The object of the game is to throw balls in a top mile or a wicker basket on top of a leather flying helmet. However, the rules of Guy Ball are never fully explained and are designed to be as confusing and as difficult to understand as possible. Fans of the show have, however, created their own rules, and the game was occasionally played for real. In Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, the Ankh-Morpork Assassins Guild has a far more sadistic variant of the wall game, and is essentially an extreme hybrid of rock climbing and dodgeball. In the first of Charlie Higson's young Bond novels, Silverfin, the young James Bond comes to Eton and learns the rules of the wall game. The game was a subject of the 1987 book, The Sports Hall of Shame, by Bruce Nash and Alan Zullo. Robert Ludlum's novel The Bancroft Strategy briefly describes the game, mentioning, "I believe the last time a goal was scored on a street Andre's Day match was in 1909, if you can believe it." Frederick Forsyth's novel The Cobra has a passing reference of the wall game. Len Deaton's nameless protagonist in the IPCRESS file passingly compares the scene boarding an aeroplane to the Eton wall game.